How can I forgive someone if they do something horrible? Pastor, you don't understand what they've done to me. It's horrible. How can I forgive them for that? Well, Jesus gives us this comparison to go by. Verse 23, we keep reading in this passage. Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his servants. He began to settle, and one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. Now, how much is 10,000 talents? The answer to that is, aren't you glad you have a former math teacher to answer these questions for you that come up in the Bible? 1 talent of gold is worth 20 years' wages. 1 talent of gold worth 20 years' wages. That means 200,000 years of work to pay back the king. And let me bring it down to days. 73 million days of work to pay back the king. He couldn't do it, clearly. Since he could not pay, his master ordered him to be sold, verse 25, with his wife and children, all that he had, until payment was made. So what did the servant do? He fell on his knees, begging the king, have patience with me, I'll pay you everything. And out of pity for him, the master of that servant released him and forgave him his debt. Now, when I read that, I thought, forgave him his debt? Like he just said, that's it? You don't owe anything? No. Forgave here means to release him, to send him away. He didn't say, you don't owe me anything. He just sent him away. Well, this man went away. And as he was walking home, as he was going home, the next verse tells us, verse 28, he found a fellow servant that owed him 100 denarii. And he grabbed him, and he choked him. Pay me what you owe me. By the way, 1 denarii is a day's wage. This man owed him 100 days of work. So his fellow servant fell down, pleaded with him, have patience with me, and I will pay you. But he refused. And he went and put him in prison until he could pay back the debt. Well, the other servants heard about this. They saw what took place, and they were greatly distressed. Wouldn't you be very upset with this man? Look what he's done. They went and reported it to their master, all that had taken place. Verse 32, his master summoned him back and said, you are a wicked servant. I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me. Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant as I had mercy on you? And in his anger, the master delivered him to the jailers until he paid back the whole debt. And Jesus makes this connection about forgiveness. He says in verse 35, so also will my heavenly Father do to every one of you if you do not forgive your brother from your heart. Jesus is saying to them, he's saying to us today, your sin is like 10,000 talents of gold. Your sin in God's eyes is like 73 million days of work owed. And when someone does something to you, when someone wrongs you, it's like 100 days compared to your 73 million.